Welcome everyone. We are live for the first time from 5 Carlos Place, Matches Fashion new hub. And it's a very special evening tonight because also for the first time we inaugurate the Eco Age Futures for Matches Fashion. And when you talk about the future, you want to be with two incredible innovators. We have Ingela from a great brand called Ingy Stockholm, and Kevin, which I have to say it in French, Germanier, and his new brand. And both these amazing designers are part of a fantastic program that Matches Fashion runs called the Innovators, which is the brainchild of Natalie Kingham. And obviously when Natalie puts her head into sustainability, she does it in a way that no one else in the world does. So Natalie, do you want to tell us a bit more about the Innovators, why you were so passionate about the fact that this year sustainability was at the focus?
Yes.
And how you find these incredible designers?
Well, the Innovators is a project that will support and work with brands and designers and creative people that are doing something outside of the normal fashion remit. So whether they're people that are doing genderless collections, whether they are dealing with sustainability, whether they're not trained as designers, whether everything is handmade. This season I got very excited because the Innovators are all dealing with not only sustainability and upcycling, but they're dealing with waste, whether it's natural waste or waste that they're finding going into landfills. And we've got 4 this season, Ingy and Kevin. We've also got 2 others, one called Noki, who deals, he's an artist and he upcycles kind of streetwear.
You're wearing his t-shirt.
I'm wearing
right
his
now.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
And the other one is Pet on Strup, and they're dealing with upcycling and giving new life to trainers. And then we have Ingy, who is working with wood that she finds and creating the jewellery, and Kevin, who is working with clothes that are going to get burnt and embellishments that are going to get burnt. And this is a way of making trash the most glamorous thing that you are going to want in your wardrobe. The product speaks first, then you deal with the fact that they're all dealing with these amazing things. Topics.
I love that the new generation of designers, look at waste in a completely different way, that something that for us in the old guard could regarded as garbage becomes your treasure. Yeah. Ingy, how do you tell us your story about these incredible pieces which come from woods that you find in the forest?
Yes,
basically.
I've always been very passionate about jewellery and fashion, of course, and I didn't find any earrings that fitted my taste because everything was mass production. And that wasn't my cup of tea. And all of a sudden I was walking in the forest, since I love to be out there. That's where I find my inspiration and my peace and everything. And I found this amazing piece of wood, and I took it home and I treated it as an art piece. And then all of a sudden I just realized that could be a piece of art for my ear as well. And then I started to find things, and it was for myself from the beginning. But people really asked me in the street, what was I wearing? Was it metric?
They do, because what are you wearing?
What is that? What is crazy? So I started to make it for other people as well. But the collection is very small. It's only 60 pieces worldwide, and every piece is unique, so it's one of a kind. So I treat them as art pieces / fashion.
And you're very passionate about the fact that it stays like this, isn't it? You said that you only wanted to do limited editions every year.
I don't do this for money purpose. I do this for passion, and I want to share it with the world. And I think it empowers me as a woman, the earrings.
I'm sure it does, because you look like a beautiful warrior as well. And Kevin, your story, so you come from a very distinguished fashion background. You started at Vuitton, and then what is your story? What happened after that?
I have a different story than you. I started actually because I'm very honest about it. I was broke when I decided to move to London, so it was a genuine process just to upcycle my bed sheets. So every time I was going in a shop to just buy calico, I just felt like, oh gosh, I feel weird. And it started like that, and for my final year collection I decided to do something very different that I usually do. It was always black, very minimal, and it's weird now because now it's all colorful and super dramatic. I said for my final year collection I will just go all the way, no black and just shiny everywhere. And I was in Hong Kong and I saw it was a bit in the landfill, a bit away from the center of Hong Kong, and I saw a guy, actually an old man, who was digging holes and just throwing away all those beads that I use on the clothes. And for me, it was the time where I was like, okay, we reached the point where we're throwing stuff that for me, the beads is like, it's just, it's shiny, it's glamorous. I was like, there's a starting point there, and this is how, here we are now. And I just show my first collection. As you, I think it was more, I do clothes because it's my passion. I don't do it to, you know, like, it's really the way I express myself. And this woman here trusted me, and here we are.
I mean, Natalie, you are you have an incredible eye for new talent and new designers. I mean, this is also why Matches Fashion is so famous, and it's really the destination point for these new emerging designers. How do you find them? What do you look into?
You just have to listen to these two.
Yes.
You just, I'm very fortunate that I come across amazing talent, and I feel like we can create a great vehicle. And that's why the Innovators was born, because everything that they're making is unique and one-offs, which is very difficult for retailers to then retail when there's one-offs. But it's been my passion to work very closely on this project and to make sure that the customers are receiving and have the chance to buy into these one-off pieces. People do want this. It takes a little bit more hard work on their side and on our side, but you just listen to them talking, it's like, how can you not,
exactly.
how can you not believe their ideals?
And Kevin, when you look at, presumably you find limited stocks of different kind of beads or waste, and so how does that affect your collection? Does it help your creativity to do different things, or sometimes you get frustrated? Do you start from the waste and create, or how does it work? That
it's
process?
Literally my creative process is, I love limitation, I love challenges. If I go in a shop and I have to find something, I just feel I cannot. But if you give me, I don't know, a red fabric, then I feel like inspired. Like, limitation is basically
It's your friend.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like since there's so many designers right now, how can we make a difference? It's also a bit like a strategy, you know. But yeah, I just feel like limitation is the way I just work all the time.
Also, the beads that you find, when I realised also that the beads that you were putting onto the clothes and onto the accessories, that the bases that you're putting them on, that was also waste.
Yeah, everything is upcycled, or everything you'll find is basically supposed to be burnt, or this is trash. So it's kind of like rewarding to say, okay, here we are now presenting the collection, but it's really like hard work to find to resource everything. It's really a challenge. And it's not just, okay, we sit down and we design a dress. It's really, okay, what do we have? Okay, we don't have some yellow. So then you talk with Natalie or with the team and you say, I cannot make this skirt because I don't have the color you want. And I think it's really important that we have people right now that just realize that there's a new way of buying clothes.
Totally, and that also, unfortunately, they call us consumers instead of citizens, but that we are, we learn to go back to buy pieces that have an incredible story, that also are unique, because, when you wear something you don't want to be like everyone else. I remember Franca Sozzani years ago said to me, I never wear what everyone is wearing right now because I don't want to be like everyone else. I only wear old clothes and past collections so that no one remembers them.
Yes, that's absolutely the same that I think. Yeah.
And what about your pieces? So are they heavy or are they
No,
light?
they're very light. It's wood that have died, and I give them a new life and a new context.
And how do you spray them? What do you use?
No, I hand paint everything.
You
so everything
paint?
Is handmade by me and hand picked, and I pick them carefully. And they need to have a soul, and I like them asymmetric and abstract, and it's a new life form.
Yeah. So how do you pick a piece of wood from the forest? What speaks to you? Does the wood comes first again?
It's the shape. But then when you color it, it just becomes something else. You can't really prevent, how it looks. it's like you sit there and it's like writing like a fairy tale,
Yeah.
like a book. It's like, oh my God, it comes to life.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. And then
Yeah.
I put it to the ear, and it, it comes different shape if you put that way or that way, or this ear to that ear. So
it's really an organic way of literally organic way. As I said before, we don't sit down and we're like, okay, this is gonna be a blue dress. It's much more than that, and I feel like in a way the way we work is kind of similar in that way.
It's a little bit like Marcel Duchamp or like Louise Nevelson worked. They find old pieces, paint them, and then it becomes their thing. It's not like how we work.
And every season is like, we don't really know. If you're asking me now what our next collection is, I cannot tell you now because I don't know what I will find. And now that we have this huge platform, there's people reaching to us, and we can work with new materials. Because also I feel like something that make us innovators is that we think out of the box. You use a wood, I use silicone and beads, it's not just fabric, it's literally, I don't know, I'm gonna say tape, or we have to think out of the box and take risks, and hopefully it works sometimes.
It always does, always. Where do you find your waste currently? Like, where do you go for waste?
Literally, I call it the stock Germanier because it comes from everywhere, from Switzerland, Hong Kong,
So now
Paris.
people know about you and they send you their waste?
Yeah, or it's just I build a connection with people, or some people reach out to me, like, it's very 2018, it's Instagram. I literally have people who are like, oh, I have like 14 meters of black organza, would you like it? And it's a community, it's a team. That's what we said before. It's not just me. This generation of selfies and stuff, I feel like it doesn't belong to who I want to be. I feel like it's a teamwork.
Team Germanier.
I have my hashtag Team Germanier that she's making fun. But
I think you find a good coach for your team, by the way.
I love really fun. I truly believe that, it's naive and maybe it's very optimistic, but let's go there. Let's show it that we can do it. Literally, we're sitting here because...
I don't think it's so naive. I mean, many years ago, before we had so much fast fashion, people had to go to the vintage stores and create, and we're almost going back to a time where people want to do that because it's better. You've taught me, working with EcoAge, how important it is to think about sustainability and waste and what we're doing as a whole business. And so to work in this way may take a little bit more effort, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And your background is quite varied as well. It was fascinating to hear that you were a back singer for Talking Heads, right? And then you were a model, you work with Chanel, you do photography. So how does everything you have done in your life then inform this, this
everything is passion. I'm very passionate about what I do. And I do nothing for money. It's all about, it comes from the heart. And if it's money in it, fine. But first of all, it has to be, my love.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you will sell your pieces because they are so beautiful.
But they're unique. So it's just one, it's just a small collection. But I think the world is looking for that, looking for new things. You don't want to be looking like everybody else.
Yeah. I think it's very special for us to be able to buy things that are completely unique, and to tell their story is very, very special. So do you tell the story to people? What is the story that you tell when people buy your jewellery?
I just want them to feel that they belong to them, I don't want them to feel like they're dressed like a monster or something, like
I don't think
it's very
that
specific.
Is not possible.
No, but I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's, you have to, it has to be part of you.
Well, you're bringing part of the forest with you, which is very romantic.
And I have a story to each, earring. I remember the smell, and the sunshine was shining when it was raining. Yeah. So every earring has a story.
Do you always use gold, or do you also use other?
I have blue and silver. I have a few pieces outside there if you're interested to see.
And everyone can see the collections from the 12th of...
From the 12th of September, we will launch all of the Innovators.
Yeah, so we can all come to Carlos Place or much. It's going to be online as well?
And it will be online, yes, it will. Yeah.
So that
12th of September.
Yes, 12th of September.
How many days were that?
Before London Fashion Week.
Very few days.
I can't wait for it to go up. I'm really excited.
It's before London Fashion Week. We'll all come here. There's only one place to go. And you even hinted at the fact that you might come to the Green Carpet Fashion Awards wearing something. Who knows?
Hopefully Kevin can sort something out quickly.
Everything is possible.
Yes. Well, you know, the first time I ever went on the red carpet wearing a dress made by Armani with recycled plastic bottles. Oh. It was so exciting to know that you were walking with garbage on the red carpet. Because, you know, and only I knew, you know. Yeah. So it's really beautiful to have to wear that, you know, to know that you're wearing something.
I feel like it's quite funny because in a way we are quite, I mean, I'm making fun of the fashion industry by making the most glamorous stuff out of trash. Yeah. I'm not like, it's okay, if people don't want to know it's sustainable, it's fine. I want my aesthetic to be strong enough, and then if they want to know more, then they know it's sustainable, and then it add value to the clothes, to the product. Yeah. And I feel like it's very funny that now we reach the point where people are super, I mean, funny, it's very, how can I say, great that people want to know more. Where does it come from? It wasn't like that before. Like people were just buying because it looked good. Now they're like, okay, how is it made? Who made it? And I feel like before we had a hole and it was like, oh no, I'm not gonna buy this. It's vintage. There's really like, now it's like, hey, there's a hole and that's great. So, you know, I like that.
We always say that the new luxury is precisely the story, knowing the stories behind the clothes, and this is what people want. And there's a huge differentiation point for a brand like you to be able to say, this is what I created, and by the way, this is the story behind, which not a lot of brands can do. So it's very special to be able to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm very lucky that I found you too.
So where did you meet? When was the first time that you saw Ingy or Ingela or Kevin?
I've got somebody wonderful in my team that showed me a photograph of Ingy's work, and then we met in our offices. And somebody emailed me and said, you've got to go and see Kevin. And when I went to go and see Kevin, there wasn't that many people there, and I thought the clothes were amazing. But then when I started talking to him and realised the story behind it, I was on board. And we were just saying that I don't think it's going to be so quiet this season when we go in.
I don't know. If you come early, maybe. No, it was very funny because you came super early. Like, I think you were one of the first ones. And then
tell my boss that.
Where is he? Where's the camera?
9 a.m.
You know what I mean? And yes, she was there, and then by lunchtime I received a call to say that it was
She bought the whole thing.
She bought the whole thing. So
you could have closed business right there. Like
I could have, yes, I could have. But you know, what is important, I think, in this story is just to show that there is people that are aware, and you call us innovators, but you are an innovator as well. And I'm not saying that because you're next to me, but literally there is people that just trust us, and that's very...
Well, it takes one innovator to create the Innovator program, by the way. It's really your baby.
It's a consumer demand as well, and it's thinking about the future and what people want.
What do this, in fact, you have this huge expertise in that. It's like, what do you feel like? Is it shifting? Is the conversation truly shifting?
Yes, I think so, because we've had some previous innovator projects where there's people that are hand making things out of dead stock, and again, a lot of it's one-off, and I think that is something that people are very interested in, is having very limited supply of something so that you're not seeing repetitive people wearing the same thing. So I think there is a demand for it. And the story, of course. Makes us feel better about spending our money,
exactly,
doesn't it?
Exactly. It's very reassuring. So Ingela, what is next for you?
I will just continue to do my things. I have just done this humongous bracelet.
Yes, this is really like...
And of course it's one of a kind as well.
Yes.
So that will be my spring-summer collection. And I have more exciting things to come. Yes.
Well, we look forward to that. And Kevin, you are going from here, you're launching, so Matches Fashion launches on the 12th of September, then you go to Milan, and then you go to Paris.
Yeah, I'll be showing the collection during Milan Fashion Week with Vogue Italy. And then I will show my new collection the 25th of September during Paris Fashion Week. So busy month.
Well, good luck to both of you. I won't even ask Natalie what she's going to do, because it's like, catch me if you can. It's always like, where is Natalie? But you're up to do great things.
I hope
looking
so.
for more innovators.
I'm trying.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Matches Fashion is so rich also because of the wonderful work that you do. It's a fantastic place. Thank you everyone for listening to us and following us, and keep checking matchesfashion.com for the most incredible innovators and collection. Come to Carlos Place, check it out, and remember about EcoAge, they're like sometimes as well. And see you next time. Thank you so much.